Hi friends, welcome to Wafa Studies YouTube channel. This is part 45 in Pyspark playlist. In this video, we discuss about from JSON function and how to use it in Pyspark. So basically, this from JSON function will help you to take any JSON string, for example, JSON data if you has in a string format, it will take that and then it will convert that string back into map type or structure type. So in this video, we will focus on how to convert this JSON string into map type. In our next video, we will do the same thing, converting this JSON string into structure type. So before watching this video, I would strongly encourage you to watch my part 15th video inside Pyspark playlist. Why? Because there I have explained what is map type and how it look like. Even though you don't do that, I think you will make sense of it when you watch the video. So let's try to do one thing. Let me practically explain you this about this form JSON function and how it can convert a string which is JSON type of string to map type. So let's go back to our Databricks workspace and here let's try to create a new notebook and I will name it like from JSON map type. So this is the notebook name. Python is a language and this is my cluster. So once I hit create button, it will create a notebook for me. So notebook got created successful. Let me close this window here. And here let's try to create one data frame which will contain some JSON string in one of the column. So let's say there is a variable called data which contains list in which I have like Mahir. This is the first item in tuple and second item is string. So what I will be doing it here is I use this strings usually string means something inside single quote or double quote. Now what I am doing here is I will be creating a JSON string here. So the data what I use inside this string is JSON type of data. And JSON type of data is nothing but like key value pairs. I hope you know. So now here maybe I will be using like hair is a key and hair color is maybe like black. Okay. Okay. Then second key, comma, second key. Maybe I. Okay. And then color is maybe like brown. Okay. So I have a tuple which two items from here to here one string and from here to here another string. And this second string actually contains JSON type of data. So that's why we will call it like a JSON string. Now let's try to create a variable called schema here and then first column name I want to give it as ID, second column name I want to give it as props, that means properties. Now if you have seen all my PySpark playlist, you know Spark keyword will give you Spark session object. On top of it we have this create data frame function that will gives you a data frame created with the hard coded values. So these values I will pass into this create data frame function, so that will create a data frame completely for me and that data frame I am storing it in a variable called df. Then finally df.show function and let me hit shift enter to execute this code and to see whether our data frame created successful or not. We can see our command is running successful. Once the command execution completes, we can see the data in output console here. So ID column, props column. ID column contains value Mahir and here the data is not fully appearing. So you know from my past videos, in the show function I can use truncate parameter for which I can supply values in boolean. So if I say false, it will give me full data here. That means I can fully see the data here. Now let's try to do one thing on top of this data frame. Let's try to use this print schema function and then here let me hit shift enter to execute this cell. If you closely observe the schema, ID column is string type, even properties column also string type. So far it is good. We created a data frame where we have a JSON string as one of the value in one column. Now, what I said, this from JSON function will actually allows you to convert this JSON string into map type. So how to do that? So for me, let me do one thing here. In the second cell, firstly from PySpark dot SQL dot. So if you see when I put dot, I am hitting control space to get intelligence. So here you can see there is a module called functions, import, then from, so I am hitting control space to get intelligence and I am importing this from JSON function. So now let's use help function and to the help function I am passing this from JSON function to see the documentation of this function and to get an idea like how to use it. If you read this documentation, it says like it will parse a column which contains JSON string into map type or structure type or string type. Okay, so you can parse it into structure type also, right? Okay, and if you scroll down, you can see some examples also here. You can self explore them, and also it will say this function will take these many parameters, and you can supply the column which contains your JSON string, and you can define a schema because you are converting that string into map type in this case. So you can define a schema for that map type, and then there is a optional field or optional parameter also. So let's not worry about this. I will, when I practically implement it, you will make sense of it. So now what I will be doing it here is from this data frame we have ID column, properties column. So let's try to create a new column called, so using with function. With column function will help you to create a new column, right? So to this function I am passing, I want to create a new column called prop map because properties in map type. So that's why I named it like that. Now what value we should have in that additional column? So that I want to take this data only, but I want to take it as a map type, not as a string, not as a JSON. So how to do that? So for that we can use from JSON function. Okay, so control space from JSON function, and to the from JSON function first parameter we have to supply the column name. So what is my column name? In data frame props is my column name. So what I will be doing is from the data frame dot use this props column. Then secondly I have to define schema also. So I have to create a map type schema for this JSON string. Okay, so let me do one thing here. So from Pyspark dot SQL dot types. Let me try to import map type. So there is something called map type. So which we have to import it here actually. Okay. So once I import this map type. Okay. So there is a error here. So let me use Pyspark dot SQL dot then types, control space types. Let's try to import map type. Okay, so once I import this map type, so here I have to use that map type schema. So what I will do it here is, because I have to define a schema, right? If you remember, let me do one thing. Let me use a help function again, and let's try to pass from JSON function in it. And when I hit shift enter, it will execute a code. So I have to pass a schema which is map type. So for that what I will be doing it here is, I will be creating a map type schema object first. So for that here map type, and let's try to get this string type as well. So let's say like this is map type schema. So that is a variable in which I am going to have map type schema object. So map type for class will actually take key type and value type. Map is nothing but like key values only. Keys and values will be connected. So as I said, if you watch my prerequisite video of map type, then you will get more sense of it. So please watch this before watching this video. So here this is key and this is value. Again this is key and this is value. So all my key values are string types. Keys are string types and also values are string type. So what I can do here is map type to this constructor I can pass my key is string type, and then same thing my column my value is also string type. So I can pass this, and this object whatever we are creating with map type as a schema, that we can pass into this from JSON function. So now this will create a new column called props map, which will be map type. So this entire code will create a new data frame. So let me save it in data frame 1. And then finally let me try to use this data frame 1 dot show function. On top of it I can say truncate false to show full data, and also data frame 1 dot then print schema function also to validate the schema. So let's wait for command to execute here. And now if you see ID column which is string type, props column which is also string type which holds JSON string, but this column props map column contains a data which is map type. You can sense the same thing from here also. Since now this column data is map type, I can individually access every key from it. So what I can do, props map dot hair, that will give me hair property value which is black. So let's assume I want to add here two more columns. One is hair column, another one is eye column. So hair column should get this value, eye column should get this value. Let me try to do that. So what I will be doing it here is I will be using data frame 1 dot again with column, and to this with column function, so I want to create a new column called hair, and then value for this column will be like df1 dot props map dot hair. Okay, not only that, I want to use another column, so again I am using this with column. Okay, and on the with column a new column called I, then same thing df1 dot props map dot I. So I is the key name. So finally this entire code will generate new data frame, so save that in data frame 2, and then finally let's try to use data frame 2 dot show, and let's try to pass truncate parameter value as false here, and let me hit shift enter to execute this code now. Now you can see I am able to take every key as a separate column, because this data, this JSON string converted as a map type here, and since it is a map type, I am able to access that keys very easily. So like this we can very easily convert JSON string into map type using this from JSON function. So the same example I was explaining here actually, so you can check it. So hope you got an idea. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get the notification whenever I add videos. Thank you so much.